So, welcome to the chapter 3, the economics of tourism and hospitality. My name is Desiree Baral Orsipe, and today we will tackle in this presentation how tourism plays a powerful role in shaping economies, particularly in developing countries. First, what is the role of tourism and hospitality in economic development? Many developing nations turn to tourism and hospitality as a way to boost economic growth. Why? Because international travel continues to rise higher. Incomes in developed nations, increased demands for tourism, and foreign exchange is essential for development. According to the OECD, tourism is a key opportunity for countries in the intermediate stage of growth to expand their earnings and support national progress. Next is tourism and hospitality is an invisible export which differs from international trade in many ways. First, tourism collects the product directly in the host country. Unlike traditional exports, there are no shipping or freight costs. Second, demand for travel depends not only on income and prices, but also on factors like political stability, local disturbance, media coverage, and how popular a destination is. Third, we have governments can encourage tourism through fiscal measures and exchange rate policies to attract more tourists, often allowing them to buy local goods at resident prices, except duty free shops. Fourth is tourism impacts multiple sectors like hotels, restaurants, shops, transport, and entertainment, while industries like manufacturing and utilities gain indirectly. Last is the industry provides more than just monetary gains, bringing social, cultural, and environmental benefits as well as cost. So let's have the next. So, economic impact. Tourism and hospitality are considered an invisible export. So it's different from international trade because instead of shipping goods abroad, they will come to us. Our consumers, our tourists comes to us. When visitors spend on goods and services within a destination, tourism acts like an export industry. It brings in money from outside and boosts economic activity. So, this spending creates income, provides jobs, and earns foreign exchange, all of which are essential for financing economic growth. For many countries, tourism isn't just an industry, it's a lifeline for development. All right. Now we're done. In summary, the tourism and hospitality industry is more than just leisure. It's a driver of economic growth, a source of jobs, and a bridge that connects culture. Thank you so much for watching this presentations on economics of tourism and hospitality. Once again, I am Desiree Brawler Sipa from STM1A. Thank you.
Let's proceed to direct secondary effect. Direct means that income received directly. It is also refers to the immediate economic benefits received by the tourism businesses from the visitors' expenditures. Indirect, also called as secondary effect, means that the money paid by tourists to business are in turn used to pay for supplies and other items used in producing the products. Tourist expenditure as income by business, such as hotel, restaurant, car rentals, tour operators, and details job have a direct effect on the house area.
Our topic is tourism multiplier. So I will just going to explain what is tourism multiplier and iyahang mga part sa ilahang formula, and later on my co-presenters will show the solutions. So what is tourism multiplier? So tourism multiplier shows how to spread the money nga gisali sa turista to the local economy. But if the tourist spending stays and is used mostly sa local business like tricycle, hotels, and souvenirs, the benefit is greater. But if the tourist spendings goes abroad, like mga imports, mga foreign-owned companies, mas gamay ang benefit nga ma-feel sa community. So this is the formula of the tourism multiplier. So the K is the multiplier, which is also pila ka times mo-multiply ang income sa economy. While the L is the direct first round leakages, or the money that immediately leaves the local economy. The C is the tendency to consume. So mao ni siya ang how much a person tends to spend rather than to save. The CG is the proportion of propensity spent abroad. So mao ni siya ang part ng gasto nga moadto kag abroad. While the TIC is the indirect tax, mga indirect tax ni siya. The TD is the value of direct deductions like income tax, the national insurance, and so on. So, mao ni siya ang direct deductions. While the B is the level of government benefits. So, mao ni siya ang mga government benefits. The M is the value of imports. Mao ni siya ang mga purchase from abroad. So, it means nga kung mas daghan ang gasto that stays in local, the higher the multiply. But kung daghan ang leakages like imports, mga gasto sa abroad, the smaller the multiplier. So for example, the developing countries sama sa Philippines, ang iyahara is 0.6 to 1.2 ang multiplier kay mas daghan ang leakages. Like the developing countries like USA, Japan, or Europe, mas taas siya kay daghan man sila local products and services nga magamit. So, kuan siya. So, ang tourism multiplier is napakita nga mas maayo kung ang gasto sa turista nagpabilin sa local economy. Kay kung mauna siya, more income in jobs will be created for the community.
Hello, everybody. I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Jorilyn Dimaya from BSTM or STM's Bachelor of Sustainable Tourism Management. Here, so my topic is all about the multiplier of tourism formula. So let's just assume that I have a here the example of the given situation. All right, here. So let's assume that in a small developing economy. So this is how I solve the how the tourists spend their money and how it is to help our economy also to develop our economy. So here our L is equal to 0.1. So I know that one of my member is already tackle about this, already tackle the meaning of the L. C, CJ, take TDBM. But in this discussion, maybe I will repeat the meaning of this. So I have here maybe we are different understanding about this, but I have here the small meaning of L. It is L. It represents for me. It is the direct first round leakage. So L it's 0.1 here. So this is given. Let's just assume that we have this. Let's next is C, which means the tendency to consume. And next, CG, the proportion spent abroad. And for the stick, it is indirect tax. The DD, it is direct deduction or tax insurance. So maybe when I say the words, you already know or have an idea about what I'm talking about. So next is B is a government benefits. Next is the M, which is the imports. Now here L is equal to 0.1, C is equal to 0.7, CG is equal to 0.2, TIC is equal to 0.05, TD is equal to 0.15, B is equal to 0.1, and M is equal to 0.2. Here, I have the given example. So our example here, this is made by the book. So here is 1 minus ill. This is the numerator here. This is the numerator. So since this is a math, so I will just maybe tackle that. First, above what we call the numerator, and here down is what we call our denominator. As you can see, we have a two parentheses here. We have the first parenthesis, which is C minus CG plus TIC. Take, I mean, and the second parenthesis, we have 1 minus TD is equal to B plus M. So, K is our multiplier. This is our K, this multiplier is 1 here. So, now the question, how we solve this? So in this scene, I will give you a step by step to analyze and to understand more how to solve this. So step 1. In step 1, we need to solve the numerator. So here are our numerators. So step 1, so we need to put step 1 here. Here. Step 1, copy the 1 here. So as you can see, okay, I will just maybe zoom the. Alright, here. This is the number 1. So, first, copy the 1, minus. Here, copy the symbol, minus. You need to copy the symbol minus. And first is L. As you can see here, we need to find the value of L. So our L is the value of our L is 0.1. So, here is 0.1. So, yeah, you next is after we to get the value of L, next we are going to do is to um, minus the 1.01. The answer is 0.9. 0.9. Now this is now the answer of our numerator. Right? Easy? Very easy. Yeah, very easy to analyze if you know how to read the formula, guys. So here now we need to proceed the step 2. Step 2, what we called is to multiply. We need to the first parenthesis. We need to calculate the first parenthesis. Step 2, calculate the first parenthesis. So yeah, like that. So our first parenthesis here, right? This is our first parenthesis. Now we need to find out the value of C. The value of C is 0.2. I mean, yeah, 0. Okay, now we need to find the value of C. Our value of C here, so this is step 2, okay? Calculate the first parenthesis. Now, let's proceed to how we calculate the first parenthesis. We need to find the value of C. So the value of C is equal to 0.7. You copy the symbol, which is minus. Now, let's proceed to value of CG, which is 0.2. Here, you need to put the 0.2 here. Copy the symbol, minus. And now, let's proceed the value of tick, which is T. So, what's the meaning of the tick? It is the indirect task. Indirect task. Tax, I'm so sorry. So, we already know what is tax, right? So, it's very tax is the value of tax is 0.05 here. Now we need to calculate this. So how? So 0.7 minus 0.2 minus 0.05. So the answer would be 0.45. Now, this is the answer of the first parenthesis. First parenthesis. Alright. Now let's move on. So now this is now the step 1, the step 2. Let's move to the step 3. Step 3, how? So the step 3 is same. We need to calculate the second parenthesis. So our second parenthesis is here. 1, it is a 1, 1. You need to copy the 1 here. 1. Okay. So, have you ever wondered why we need to copy? Does it have value? No, yeah, because it's numerical. So once it's already a have value. So first, you maybe when you're high school and every variables have a value of 1, but in this our topic we have already a value each variable. But if the variable doesn't value, we don't have any example. So matic, it's already have 1 in the inside. It's inside. So I am in the side of the variable have 1 value, but we have already value here. Example, it's just a show here. So let's just move on and find the TD. Alright, our value of TD is 0.15. Here we need to put the 0.15 here. Oh, my pen. 0.15. So as you can see, we have an equal. So you need to copy the equal here. Copy the equal and find also the value of b. This is not a b btm. This is a b plus m. So you need to find the value of b, which is 0.1. Copy the symbol plus and find the value of m is equal to 0.2. Now, so here, since we have a 1 here, out in the parentheses, we're going to do is we need 2 minus the 1 minus 0.15. The result is 0.85 times. So this we going to times now, okay? So we're going to do is to add 0.1 plus 0.2 is equal to 0.3. No, very easy. If you know how to add, multiply, minus, divide, then you can answer this. Yeah, now let's move on and calculate, multiply the 0.85 times 0.3. So the answer is 0.255. This is now the step 3. So now we already take the first and second parenthesis. Alright, so the first parenthesis we have 0.45. Second parenthesis we have 0.25, but it's not done yet because we have a 1 here outside of the parenthesis. So we're going to do, we need to minus it. So since we have 1 here, we need also, first we need to um times the 0 of the first parenthesis and the second parenthesis to calculate again the one outside of the parenthesis. So we're going to do is we need to um multiply the 0.45. This is now the step 4, okay? Alright. This is now the step 4. Calculate the first parenthesis and second parenthesis, the final result. So the final result of the first parenthesis is 0.45 times 0.255, which is the second parenthesis. So if you multiply it, this is the okay, this is the uh, 9. Okay, now let's multiply. So 0.45 times 0.2. So the result is the 11475. 11475. Now this is the result of the denominator. So now let's proceed to, since we have, so if you ever wonder that we need to put 1 here, minus 0.11475. So where did we get the 1? Because here there's a 1 here. We only solve the first and second parenthesis, and next we need to solve the first. I mean the 1. So in we need to also to minus, so 1 minus 0.11475 is equal to 0.88525. Okay, just 1 minute, guys. Okay, the result is here, 0.88525. This is now the result of the denominator here. The result of denominator. Now, if we put here, we have key. Our numerator is 0.9. Our denominator, whole denominator value, we have 0.88525. Now, we don't have yet. First, we need to divide here. We need to divide the 0.9 and 0.85, and the result is, I'll calculate the scientific calculation. The result is 1.0166. Oh, here is result 1.0166, but we need to round off. So the result is 1.02. Final result is 1.02. So here another example, since all right, here I have here some another example to analyze. If the tourists spend 1,000 in a destination and the total income generated in the economy through direct and indirect and induced effect is 2,500. And so, have you ever wondered that from small money to big money, how money spent, how money increase? So, this is what happened. If tourists spend 1,000 in a hotel, and in the hotel that 1,000 is given to the co-workers, buy anything, that money, and the co-workers, of course, the co-workers already get their salary, and then the co-workers is put buy to the supermarket, buy anywhere, buy like that because of the taxes. So if the taxes, that's why how economic grow. That's why if I mean how tourists important to our economy. Yeah, that's it. And to calculate also the key here. Key is equal to YE. Like for example, this is the Y, this is the E. You need to divide. Divide only in the result. That's it. Okay? That's all for today. Have a great day.
Good day everyone, my name is Evan Judy Villegas, and today I'm gonna discuss about the cost-benefit ratio and the undesirable aspects of economic tourism. So first is, let's start about the cost-benefit ratio. Cost-benefit ratio are used to determine the extent of potential of benefits and costs in developing the tourism and hospitality industry. So it's calculated by dividing the costs and by dividing the benefits. So in tourism, it helps us to decide if investing in tourism are a really good idea. So there have a six steps must to be followed. First is, you need to track the money. You need to track money means you need to figure, or you need to find out where the tourists spend. So it might be transportation, food, restaurant, and hotels. Then the next steps is find the leaks. So find the leaks means see how much that money leaves from that for the area. So it goes to local companies or might be import or etc. Then the third steps is multiply the impact. So To multiply the impact, you can use special numbers to show how each dollar multiples are spent again in the local economy. Then the fourth steps is total the benefits. So total benefits means is you need to calculate all good things that came from the tourist money, so including the direct and indirect effects. Then the fifth steps is compare benefits and the cost. To compare that, you need to figure out where the ratio of how much money comes and versus how much money is spent. Then the last steps number 6 is estimate income and the cost. So to estimate the income and the cost, you can use the ratio to see how much the tourist affects in income and the cost. So for local and the community, then the next is undesirable economic aspects of tourism. Undesirable economic aspects of tourism. So in tourism, there are some economic aspects. So first is higher prices. Higher prices is when people come, they create more demand for the things. So the locals have to pay more every day each items. So the next is economic instability. So economic instability. So in tourism, this can be unpredictable. So if the economy is bad or there have a crisis like pandemic, this can be hard businesses that rely on tourism, leading to the job losses and instability. So the third is tourism is a luxury. So people will cut back on the travel if they have less money. So making the tourism industries less reliable than other industries that provide necessities. So in short, while the tourism can bring money and jobs, it can also be make things more expensive for locals or residents and create more an unstable economy.
How to maximize economic effect of tourism and hospitality. The two type of growth theories, the balanced growth and unbalanced growth. The balanced growth. The balanced growth suggests that the tourism and hospitality should be viewed as an important part of broad-based economy. The balanced growth also integrates tourism and hospitality with other economic activities. And balanced growth also prioritizes locally produced goods and services. The second type of growth theories, the unbalanced growth. The unbalanced growth it serves as catalyst for broader economic growth. Supporters of theory of unbalanced growth see tourism and hospitality as spark to economic growth. Unbalanced growth also expands demand to stimulate growth in other sectors.
So, good morning everyone. So, we are in front of you to share the collaborative work in Group 3. So, the topic is economics and strategies. Tourism and economic strategies and focus on boosting revenues and creating jobs. And economic is the to in tourism in creating the approaches and government and business and communities and used to minimize to economic benefits and tourism while minimizing or negative impacts. So the second is diversifying offerings and ensuring the sustainable and long-term growth. So so to me, for me, so many country and to foreign exchange are countries or strategies and our designs are to prove profitable and sustainable and that's all.
Okay, let's proceed to import substitution. Import substitution places taxes or limits on goods that can be produced within the country. It also provides financial support such as subsidies, grants, or loans to local industries to promote the use of domestic resources. The main goal is to reduce money flowing out of the country and strengthen the local economy.
Tourism needs support to grow. Governments use incentives to attract investors and foreign exchange rule to make sure the country earns from tourism. So we have your incentives. The wise use of incentives can encourage the influx of capital, both local and foreign, necessary to develop tourism and hospitality supply, what which means are benefits given by the government to encourage investment in tourism. So we have here the most common forms of incentives. Incentives are: number one is the tax exemptions, reductions on imported machinery, materials, and the like. Example, a hotel company importing modern kitchen equipment doesn't pay import duties. So this reduces cost of setting up tourism facilities since machinery and materials are cheaper. So we have two, reduction in company taxation by means of favorable depression allowances on investment or special treatment in relation to exercise taxes, sales taxes, income taxes, turnover taxes, profit taxes, or property taxes. So we have the example here. A resort is allowed to write off the cost of new buildings faster, lowering taxable income. So businesses pay less tax and recover their investment sooner. So we have the three, tax holiday limited period. Example, a newly built dam park doesn't pay income tax for its first 5 years. This encourages investors because they can keep profits in the early stages. Number four is guarantee of stabilization of tax conditions for up to 20 years. Example, a foreign airline company is promised that tax rates won't increase for the next 15 years. Investors feel secure knowing the tax rules won't suddenly change. So we have the five, grants for up to 30% of total capital cost. Example, government gives 30 million to cover part of a 100 million eco-lodge project. So grants reduce the amount of money investors need to spend from their own pocket. So 6, subsidize guaranteed minimum level of profit, compensates ATC. Example, if a resort only gets 40% room occupancies, the government pays the difference to reach the 60% minimum, because protects investors from losses and ensures business stability. 7. Loans at low rates of interest. Example, a tour operator borrows from a government bank at 2% interest instead of 10%, because cheaper loans make it easier to finance tourism projects. 8. Provision of land freehold at nominal or little cost or at low rents. Example, the government leases beachfront land to a hotel chain for only one per year because investors save on expensive land costs, making the project more attractive. 9. Free and unrestricted repatriation of all or part of invested capital, profit, dividends, and interest subject to tax provisions and interest. Example, a foreign-owned airline can sell all its profit back to its home country without restriction, because this gives confidence to foreign investors that they can take their money out anytime. So lastly, 10. Guarantees against nationalization or appropriation. Example, a foreign-owned resort is guaranteed that the government will not seize or take over its property because protect investors from losing their assets due to government action. So the purpose to reduce costs, increase profits, and attract more investors. So before implementing an incentive strategy, a destination should number one, examine the performance of the schemes of other countries in light of the resources and development of objectives. So number two, research the actual needs of investors. Number three, design codes of investment concessions related to specific development objectives with requirements of investors. And number four, establish targets of achievements and periodically monitor and assess the level of realization of such targets. Foreign exchange. Many countries have placed restrictions on spending in order to maximize foreign exchange earnings. So they have limited the amount of their own currency that tourists can bring in and take out of the destination to ensure that foreign currency is used to pay bills in the host region. So tourists may be required to pay hotel bills in foreign currency. So visitors may be required to show that they have enough money for their stay before they are permitted to enter the country, or they may even be required to enter with a specified amount of foreign currency. So we have your rules may include limit on foreign money tourists can carry. 2 is require payment in local currency. 3 is show proof of enough money for stay. 4 is exchange a cent amount of currency at entry. So the purpose here is to make sure tourism brings income and supports the local economy. So incentives help attract investors in tourism, while the foreign exchange rule ensure that tourism earnings stay in the country. So both are important for the growth of tourism and the economy.